Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lesson 5. And to think, we've been through 4 lessons in writing, and it's already March. Holy moly. I think we're going to get through this, though. All right, this is the introduction to Lesson 5, and we're going to go right on into Step 1. So this is a bit of a long video, so please get comfy and pay close attention. The best way to do that is to follow along in the book, and I will explain how to pronounce everything, and I'll give you some answers when it comes to Step 1. But the price you have to pay is to pay attention. Beginning on page 120 in your writing book, you will see at the top, it says Lesson 5, Writing to Inform, Book Chapter. That's right. You guys are going to be writing a chapter in a book, and we'll get to that, all right? If you think about it, you guys have been writing book chapters all along. Every time you guys submit something to Am I Right, it is basically a book chapter. So this is no different. It's just a different style of writing. And we're going to figure out how to do that. But first, we're going to introduce this whole lesson by reading along with me down here below on page 120. And it says sharing information. And by the way, writing to inform, we've already done this. If you guys will remember, we've done a lesson already for writing to inform when we talked about the hydroelectric power and the wind-generated power. So this is something we've already done. When we did that, we read some information and we basically shared what we learned to other people. And that's what this is basically going to be doing, writing to inform. Reading along with me, please. Sharing information. Robbie's class is writing a book about mammals, animals that have backbones and nurse their young. Each student will write a chapter, but Robbie can't decide which mammal to write about. During a trip to the zoo, Robbie becomes fascinated by a family of Hamadryas baboons. That's how you say that, Hamadryas. Hamadryas baboons, that's how you say it. A type of monkey from the northeastern part of Africa. The baboons, Hamadryas, act in some very human-like ways. A mother makes lip-smacking sounds to her baby, and a male seems to call, wahoo! I like them already. Robbie decides to write his chapter on the baboon so he can show others just how interesting these creatures are. By writing an informational chapter, Robbie aims to teach readers something new about the world around them. Read the excerpt from Robbie's chapter below. What have you learned about Hamadryas? I'll figure that out. Wait, it's something, pronunciations in each one. Okay, let's read this together down here. Hamadryas baboons travel together in a pack called a harem. Each harem has several females and 1 or 2 males. Sometimes harems will join together in clans. This can make a tough job of finding food a little easier. Hamadryas baboons also make some curious sounds. The male gives a bark that sounds like wahoo! I would like to hear these. It signals danger or warns other males to, and then it continues. Now, over on the other page, on page 121, it's telling us again, what is informational writing? And as it says right there, informational writing teaches or explains a topic to readers. The writer uses facts, definitions, quotations, and examples often from research to develop the topic. Just like you guys will be doing. Making me proud. Oh. Key features of informational writing are, in the bulleted points you'll see down below there, the first one says, an introduction that states the topic clearly and prepares readers to learn about the topic. And that means You got to have an intro that states the topic clearly and tells people what they're going to learn about. The second bullet item says facts and details that are logically organized in paragraphs. Man, this sounds familiar. Yeah? The third one, precise language and domain-specific vocabulary that express ideas concisely and accurately. Now, what that means is precise language and domain-specific vocabulary. That means use the kind of words that we are going to be aiming at our readers, okay? We're going to use the kind of vocabulary that is required for the people who are going to be reading our story. That's basically what that means, okay? We're going to be using linking words, phrases, and clauses that connect one idea to the next. And last but not least, we will have a conclusion that restates the topic, sums up the important parts, and leaves readers with something to think about. So this is almost like doing lesson 3 all over again, isn't it? Wonderful. Yay. I'm looking forward to this again. Now, I'm going to ask you guys to flip over to step 1, and we're going to just go ahead and dive right into this. And on page 122, we have at the top here, it says, study a mentor text. So again, we're going to have a mentor text written here by Caleb Lawrence. And we're going to have to read it once, and then we're going to reread it again, and we're going to work on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together. So, and as it says right there at the top, it says, before you write your book chapter, you'll study a model. First, read to understand what it's about. Then reread to understand how it was written. And as you reread the mentor text, do the numbered activities. They'll help you understand the key features of a book chapter. So, following the directions, let's read the mentor text together. You can either follow along in the book, try to, or you can just listen to me, because I'm probably going to go a little fast, okay? But just listen, all right? This mentor text is called Hiding in Plain Sight, and it's by a young man named Caleb Lawrence. And Caleb has written a book chapter for us. And this particular book chapter starts with, at the top, just get ready. For an animal in the wild, threats to survival are everywhere. All habitats have risks. For example, water sources can dry up. Food can grow scarce. The weather can turn dangerous without warning, but perhaps most worrisome to animals is the constant danger of becoming another animal's lunch. Chomp, chomp. To avoid being eaten by hungry predators, or better yet, to stalk their own prey, many animals use camouflage, the natural coloring or shape of their bodies, which allows them to disappear into their surroundings. There are 3 main types of animal camouflage. It has right here a headline, a title. It says True Colors. The first type of camouflage is coloration. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, concealing coloration lets an animal hide against a background of the same color. For example, Arctic hares live in the North American tundra. During winter, their coats turn white so they can blend in with the snowy environment, making them less visible to predators. In the spring, their coats return to a blue-gray color that matches the rocks and plant life around them. Owls also rely on concealing coloration. During the day, when predators are lurking, owls sleep snugly in tree burrows. Their brown feathers blend seamlessly into the tree trunk. Animals with disruptive coloration, such as zebras, are colored in a way that makes the outline of their body hard to see. Because zebras tend to travel in groups, predators struggle to identify a single zebra to attack amongst the sea of black and white stripes. Animals that rely on disruptive coloration for hunting include Sumatran tigers and jaguars. Next page. A tiger's stripes make it hard for prey to recognize its shape when moving through tall grasses. Jaguars hunt during the day in low-lying leaves of tree branches. Their splotchy markings keep them from standing out amid the shifting patterns of light and shade. Another headline, the art of disguise. The second type of camouflage is disguise. This is similar to concealing coloration because it helps animals blend in with their surroundings. But when an animal is disguised, it relies on its shape or texture to keep it safe, not just its color. For example, certain tree frogs look like lumps of velvety green moss. Lumps of velvety green moss. Additionally, the walking leaf insect perfectly matches the shape, texture, and color of the plant leaves in its habitat. And the lanternfly, which lives on tree trunks, is rough, scaly, and brown like tree bark. Look at this, another title and another type of camouflage. Take note of that. The third type of camouflage is mimicry. In this case, the animal that wants to avoid being eaten copies certain characteristics of an animal that the predator does not want to eat. For example, a hawk will not eat monarch butterflies because they are toxic to birds. It means they're poisonous. As a result, the viceroy butterfly has grown to look like a monarch butterfly, which is a useful characteristic to have when facing a bird of prey. Owl butterflies also rely on mimicry to stay safe. These unusual butterflies have enormous spots on their wings that look like the eyes of an owl. When threatened, the owl butterfly spreads its wings and takes flight. Consequently, its stalker is frightened, giving the butterfly time to escape. Not all animals are able to use camouflage to keep themselves safe, but those that can take advantage of coloration, disguise, and mimicry are likely to live longer in the wild than those that can't. The next time you walk past a fallen tree branch or a leafy green plant, take a close look. You never know what might be hiding there. And the sources, it has sources, and it's the first one is a story called Camouflage, and they got it from National Geographic Education, which would be the www.nationalgeographic.com. And they got some information from another source called Concealing Coloration, and they got that from Encyclopedia Britannica Online. And then they have one more source here, and it was called, the article or the story was called Critter Camouflage. And the source was from the Sacramento Zoo, and they got it from www.saczoo.org. Now that we've read it once, let's go back and look at, we will read it again as we do number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to make you guys think about some of these things, all right? But we will do some together, all right? Number 1 says Introduction. Caleb Lawrence's introduction to his story called Hiding in Plain Sight. In paragraph 1, draw a dash, not dot, under the sentences that tell what topic the book chapter will inform readers about. So find the sentence in the topic paragraph that tells what topic the book chapter will inform the readers about. So, for an animal in the wild, threats to survival are everywhere. All habitats have risk. That's like a good hook. That's the starting of a good hook. But that's not telling what the that's not telling the readers what they're going to be reading about. See, for example, water sources can dry up, foods can grow scarce, the weather can turn dangerous without warning, but perhaps most worrisome to animals is the constant danger of becoming another animal's lunch. Now, are we talking about not becoming lunch, or is the story more about camouflage? The story is more about the different types of camouflage, and that's what the readers will be reading about. So, which sentence in here talks most about camouflage? I'm going to let you guys dash that whole entire 4-line sentence. Gave you a hint. Hit pause, whatever. I'm going on to number 2. Number 2 says headings. Headings. Explain why the writer organizes his chapter with headings. Why would you put headings on top of a couple paragraphs or on top of a paragraph? Why would you do that? Why would you put a heading on top of a paragraph? There's really no answer that I can give you for this. I think you guys know. I mean, don't overthink this. It's very simple. Why would you put a heading on top of a couple of paragraphs? If you need to, hit pause, because I'm going to let you guys write that. Well, I have no help so far, am I? Jeez, Mr. Spader. All right, number 3. Develop the topic. The writer introduces 4 kinds of camouflage in paragraphs 2 through 5. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Underline the sentence in each paragraph that defines the type of camouflage. Defines the type of camouflage. That gives the definition of the camouflage. Like, for instance, I see the types of camouflage are concealing coloration, disruptive coloration, disguise, and mimicry. And they kind of make that obvious by making it bold. So those are the 4 types of camouflage. Underline the sentence, the whole entire sentence from capital letter to period. In each paragraph that defines each one of these types of camouflage. So you guys are going to have to go in and underline each one of those paragraphs that defines the types of camouflage. That means there's 1 line in each paragraph that you will completely underline. Go for it. Pause, because I'm moving on to number 4. But wait. No, you got to hit pause. Number 4, linking words, phrases, and clauses. In paragraphs 4 and 5, the writer uses several linking words, phrases, and clauses to connect ideas. We need to go find them and draw a box around the words and phrases that signal examples of a concept. And then circle the words and phrases that indicate cause and effect. What is what you're saying? Follow along with me, and it will start to make more sense. Okay? Okay, let's look at paragraph 4 and 5. They're talking about the art of disguise and magnificent mimicry. And we're going to find the words and phrases that signal examples of a concept. Now, these are the linking words, phrases, and clauses that we have kind of already gone over in the lessons that we've done. So, let's look at this. The second type of camouflage, disguise. This is similar to concealing coloration. because it helps animals blend in with their surroundings. But when an animal is disguised, it relies on its shape or texture to keep it safe, not just its color. For example, certain tree frogs look like lumps of velvety green moss. And then it has additionally, but additionally means it's adding more to it. For example is giving an example. So that would be an example of a clause or a phrase that connects ideas, right? That signals an example of a concept. So in paragraph 4, when you find the words, for example, it is connecting the two ideas. But when an animal is disguised, it relies on its shape or texture to keep it safe, not just its color. For example, certain tree frogs look like lumps of velvety green moss. So their little lumpy little shapes make it look like velvety green moss. All right, so that kind of that connects the two ideas of saying that it's not just shape or texture, or it's not just its color, it relies on shape and texture too. So go with this. Draw a box around, for example. All right. And strangely enough, it's the same thing in paragraph 5. Paragraph 5, we have to look at something different because it says, the third type of camouflage is mimicry. In this case, the animal that wants to avoid being eaten copies certain characteristics of an animal that the predator does not want to eat. That was a sentence that we had underlined earlier. For example, a hawk will not eat monarch butterflies because they are toxic to birds. Now, right there, that is connecting those two ideas again, because they signal examples of a concept. And it even says it right there, examples. That signal examples of a concept. For example, it's connecting those two ideas together. But we have to think a little bit farther with this one, because in this case, the animal that wants to avoid being eaten copies certain characteristics of an animal that the predator does not want to eat. For example, a hawk will not eat monarch butterflies because they are toxic to birds. As a result, and this is where we have to circle the words and phrases that indicate cause and effect. So we have cause and effect. Cause and effect. That's when we have something happened and there's a result of it. So right here it says, as a result, the viceroy butterfly has grown to look a lot like a monarch butterfly, which is a useful characteristic to have when facing a bird of prey. That would show cause and effect. So because the cause is hawks like to eat monarch butterflies. The effect is the viceroy butterfly has grown to look a lot like the monarch butterfly. So let's circle as a result, please. Okay? That will indicate cause and effect. But wait, there's more. Owl butterflies also rely on mimicry to stay safe. These unusual butterflies have enormous spots on their wings that look like the eyes of an owl. When threatened, the owl butterfly spreads its wings and takes flight. Consequently, its stalker is frightened, giving the butterfly time to escape. I'm smelling some cause and effect here, aren't you guys? The cause is that the stalker is frightened. That's it. And the butterfly gets a chance to escape. That's what this whole thing's about. Survival. Camouflage. Right? So the effect is the stalker is frightened. What is the effect? What is the cause of that? What is the cause of the stalker being frightened? Well, it's when the owl butterfly spreads those creepy wings and takes flight. So we need to circle the word that is a cause. I'm sorry, that is linking word, phrase, and clause that indicates cause and effect. What word connects those two things? The cause, which is the creepy butterfly wings, and the effect, where the stalker is frightened. It's consequently. Circle that one right there. Yay. You're welcome. Number 6. Sources. Sources. What is a source? Remember source? We talked about that earlier in the year. Sources are where you're getting your information from. When we have a source text, the last source text that we read was, what was it called again? Do you guys remember? And the source text before that. So not the mentor text, but the source text. That's the main stuff that we get our information from. Sometimes we get our information from other sources. And we really should start learning how to cite, C-I-T-E, cite, these particular sources. And when we do that, we basically tell everyone where we got our information from. We are not Einstein, and we don't know everything, so we have to actually go out and get this information from somewhere, but we have to let people know where we got that information from. And that's what this is about. So, sources. Why do you think the writer provides a list of sources at the end of his chapter? After what I just said, and you can't answer that. No, if you need to rewind that, rewind it, because I basically just gave you the answer. I'm going to let you take all of that and then turn it into a sentence. And you're going to have to write that in your own for number 6. Oh. So, I think we have finally gotten through the introduction of lesson 5, and we've gotten through step 1 together. Oh man, good thing. You know what? We'll take a break by doing step 2 tomorrow. Yay! Good luck with this, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye.